So this is what we're supposed to do this week. I'm not even going to lie. I also missed some of the trades because there's a lot of things on my mind, guys. Call this one new low. I'm gonna be fast. This one, new high. So we all know that gold was buying. However, there was a lot of opportunities. New high. I'm not even going to take a lot of time. New high. And then we can see that now we have these small break of structure. We can call this one a break. Let's just put B right there. And bear in mind you're on the 4 hours, so I can clearly see that the market is trying to approach this area right there. This might be my point of interest, so refining this area I have to take this guy right here. That's my point of interest. So moving to 1 hour and see what we could have done. First thing you have to see here, I told them that here I was expecting an entry from around there. However, it didn't come. So the market did what? The market broke the structure. After breaking that structure, it pulled further to the downside, went up, broke another structure. So I'm thinking of just jumping off to 15-minute time frame. This is where most of the things happen. So going to the past, you can clearly see that, okay, after this break of structure, we're expecting the market to give us something. So here it was either the market had to pull down to this level right there, which of it did, however it took it out, or actually this level right here. You can clearly see right here, which of is the one that it pulled into. So if you're expecting me to enter on order blocks, that's not gonna happen. However, before the market pulled down here, it gave you a break of structure right there, a minor change of character, you can call it. So the minor change of character resulted into the market entering this level right here. However, we can just use the whole order block right there because you can clearly see this simple imbalance right there. So also because the market, it gave you this one right here, and you know that the market is pushing to the upside, clearly you have to expect another entry from around this area, which of I could have just taken it from here. And then after then the market just also broke this high right there, and then after breaking that high, what did the market do? The market came down to break this low right about here. So this is me breaking each and everything down on the market. So hence after this break and also this break right here, I was expecting the market to pull up to this area right there. However, it didn't. Let me just mark it like this. However, the market did not. It just went down. Here we're supposed to get another entry. However, we got liquidated. So this is another sign that the market has confirmed its direction to the downside. And then it went up to do what? To enter on this order block right here. However, it's too big. We can just simply use this open space right there. Let me just delete this one. You can simply use this open space right there. You could have had that entry, and then also gave you another confirmation that we might be pushing to the downside. And then I was expecting the market to do what? To come further to these area right there. However, I was not expecting it to come here and respect, because you can clearly see that we have some kind of liquidity right there. And you can clearly see that on top of that liquidity, there's this open space right here, which of it has to be imbalanced. So that's where the market tapped into and then continued pushing to the downside. So coming back to this level, we had a break right there. The market pushed up and just entered from here and then went down to respect a certain point, only just because of this small break right there. The market resulted into it tapping into this level right there. So it also gave us another break of structure right here, sort of like a major change of character. And then after giving us that major change of character, the market, we're expecting it to come to this base right here, which of at the end of the day, I think the market did. But it was not going to respect too much, because I'll explain everything. It was not going to respect too much because the market currently has proven to us right there, and also right here, that the market now wants to sell, and the market here, it was just going to be a short-term thingy. And then you can clearly see that here we have this level right there. So the market printed this level, pushed up, left this gap, retested here, pushed down, came back once more, came down to just take out this low right here. Why am I labeling it as a low right there? Is because you can clearly see that it gave us these break of structure right there. So, and then the market went on to just eventually just after sweeping here, it pulled even further to the upside. However, just retested on these. I'm sure if we push to the 5 minute, let's just push and really see what really happened right there. Let me just cancel this one. Let's just see what really happened right there. Okay, still the same thing. However, this liquidity, I was going to expect the market to enter from this place right here, this place right there. So which of we did have that entry. And then let's pull back to 15 minutes and check. After that entry right there, the market did what? Pushed even further to the downside. You can clearly see this one. And after pushing to that downside, also tapped into this imbalance right here. You can clearly see that open space right there, tapped into that one, and then went up to do what? Went up, down, up, took out this 1-2 liquidity right there, but failed, or also took out this one too. Let me just do that and just do this. Also took out this one too. So that could have been another entry. However, the one that I was expecting is this one. After this break, I was expecting the market to come here, which of it ended up doing what I expected. You see right there, that was our entry. And you can clearly see that here, I just, because a lot of things are just in my brain, I forgot a lot of things. However, right there we had a break. Here's another confirmation of a break. So clearly the market has to pull up, but at what point? You can clearly see that this is an order block that has imbalance. You can just use the imbalance right there, and you could have had that sell right there. And then here we had a break. Then also the market went down, went up, went down. Before the CPI, I was sure that the market was going to push down. However, I saw that here, when you go back, we're at a point of interest. However, there's this low. It is longer than this one. It was supposed to be shorter. That's why I told them that this one is going to go 2 ways. So you have to just wait for, just sell, right? So if you had sold here and then your take profit was here, you could have made money. So the market just took out that low and then went up to take out these high right here. And then after then, it entered on this point right here. You take it from there to there. That's a point of entry. However, if you're not feeling the stop loss or whatever, you can just simply push it to the smaller time frame, which of you can clearly see that if it was not for this week, you were supposed to enter from here right there. So some things you just need to be open-minded in order for you to understand them. And then go back to 15 minutes time frame. And then you can clearly see that here we have this change of character right there, a minor change of character right there. And since we also tapped into a point of interest, and then also here we have levels of the market printing liquidity. So it is possible that the market could come to this point, all right? Come to that point and then give us buys until whatever or wherever. Let's just say on this one, because this one was supposed to be shorter than this high right here. So that's clearly another form of liquidity. The same thing I said about this low right here. So I'm expecting the market to pull down and then pull up. All right. As you can also see that here we have a minor change of character. And the market clearly took out 1-2 liquidity, and also this one tapped in there. So it is possible for the market to pull down, give us something like this on the smaller time frame, and then continue pushing to the upside until somewhere right there. So guys, this was how I sold gold. So hopefully guys, next week we're going to make profit, which of this week I did make profit. However, I was not consistent. Even the signals that I dropped were not 100% clean because there's a lot on my brain, but however, I'm dealing with it, and hopefully next week it's gonna be good. So this was the bank, and this was another video of trading with the bank. Signing out.